Dustin, can you start off by talking to us a little bit about how you got your start in the oil and gas industry?
Absolutely. Well, I'd actually like to start by how I got started in banking, which sort of ties into how I got my start in energy. I actually come from a banking family. My father was an executive at a large commercial bank in the Middle East, and he still works in the finance industry to this day. My brother also works in the banking industry on the private banking side, so we have two boys that have sort of followed in those footsteps, sort of. But I got my start in investment banking in the 2010-2011 period. At the time, I actually started as a healthcare analyst. But the bank that I worked for, 90% of what they did was energy and oil and gas. So while I worked on a number of healthcare transactions, I saw the amount of success that they were having, and I wanted to be a part of it. Mind you, at this period of time, this was in the 2010-2011 period where there's a boom in activity in the shale plays. So there's a lot of activity in the Permian Basin, DJ Basin, and the Bakken. So there's a number of opportunities to work with smaller companies that then became a part of larger companies. So I had worked on a few special projects with Alex Montano, who was the head of energy there, and now 8 years later, still work with him and work with a lot of the same team members to this day, just at Roth Capital. At Roth Capital, it's being out in California, we don't have the same home court advantage as some of our Texas counterparts, but I think that we've done a really great job at investing a lot of resources in the downturn so that we, develop those key relationships and expand our energy franchise.
And with all of that, can you talk to us about any risk or challenge that you faced and been able to overcome in your career, maybe during the trying times and into now?
Right, so our energy team actually started in late 2013, and if you recall in 2014, there was a sharp drop in oil prices. So, and that sort of trickled into 2015 and 2016. So I think that the capital markets had sort of changed overnight. The banking markets had changed as well. And I think as a team, we understood, especially being out in California, that a lot of companies felt sort of abandoned in that instance. So while it was a tough market to get certain deals done, we managed to spend a lot of our resources in investing in those relationships so that we have long-term viability over the different cycles.
What about advice for younger professionals, trying to find their way and you being able to share your success that you've made so far? Can you provide advice there?
Right. I would say, you can't underestimate the power of having time on your side. I think as young people, you have to be bold, you have to take risks. Because you have the luxury of time, you shouldn't be afraid to fail and make mistakes because there are lessons to learn in that process. I think as long as you have a hard work ethic and really have a passion for what you're doing, then things tend to pan out in your way. Specifically in the oil and gas industry, there are going to be down cycles. Oftentimes there are going to be steep learning curves that you have to get over. But the successful people, I think the common denominator is a continuous commitment to learning and adapting so that you know how to navigate that when you do run into trouble. So to the young people out there, I say, don't let the outside noise distract you from your internal goals. Set a high bar for yourself, keep going for it, but be patient.
Good advice there. Can you talk to us, Dustin, about technology? Have what you've seen maybe in the past few years, really how much it's changing or moving the industry as well?
I think we've seen a lot of different changes. The oil field is notorious for being a little bit slow to adopt some of those changes, but I think that there's been a huge difference in creating smart oil fields and greener oil fields in certain instances. I think we have some clients that have identified certain technologies that are just game changers for a lot of these operators, where not only do they have all the bells and whistles and digital automation and things like that, it allows them to be both operationally efficient and capital efficient. So I think it saves them a lot of money and also doesn't look too bad in the oil field.
Great advice there. We appreciate you sharing that story with us, and congratulations on this honor, Dustin.
Thank you so much. It's great to be a part of this group.
And for more on industry leaders and honorees like Dustin, you can find that on heartenergy.com.